Hey guys, welcome to the Self-Evident Podcast. It is Wednesday morning. This may be my favorite day of the week for our podcast. I'm Mike. You got Massey.
Yeah, we got to come up with a different intro. You know what I mean? Like we got to do something a little flashy because it's Conspiracy Vault Day, and it's it's like one of those it's got to be like where we wear our tin hat. We got to do it. We got to do it, guys. I'm just thinking off the cuff, because y'all know we're pretty open on this podcast. We tell you all the flaws. We do all the bloopers. We're not trying to edit things. Well, we kind of do. Maybe when I say something stupid, we edit it out. But
well, it was live, so we weren't able to.
That's true.
But
when we were good at it,
when we were running pre-record, we were doing bloopers and editing out the stupid stuff we said.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, I love bloopers. I don't know if anybody, and to me, that's just the real of it. You know what I mean? The raw of it. But it's this Conspiracy Vault thing. I mean, we're doing different podcasts now. We're just gonna throw a bunch of stuff at you and see what sticks. You know what I mean? Because this is stuff we think about. What I will say is every one of us is different, right? So we all think about different things. We think about maybe some of us don't think about government, as much as I do or you do, or some of us think about the word more. So we'll be doing stuff on scripture and all these other things. But we just thought, let's just do some zany stuff, man. And I have no idea why.
It's fun,
but we're doing it.
It's fun.
And Mike does all the work here. I'm just saying, I get to be a face of the ministry because, we founded it, whatever, but he does all the work. So everybody at home, golf clap. Put the camera on Mike, man. Mike.
Way to go, Elijah.
I award you with a cup of coffee.
Thank you. Today's cup is Deal's Gap. 318 curves, 11 miles.
That place, the Dragon, that's a road. Yeah. It's an 11-mile stretch. That's 11-mile stretch. Yeah,
I can't wait to ride.
Bro, I went up there and they got that tree. It's basically the wall, the tree of shame. It's got all the parts of bikes and boots, and it's and we get to go ride that, because you can only go so fast, right? And you get some people who are
crazy idiots,
and I'm being honest, and they'll do the 90-mile-an-hour thing. It's just stupid, but that's not what it's for. It's for the scenery. Yeah. So it's crazy, man.
I know Todd's talked about it, so I'm kind of looking forward to that day.
I think he said he's been on it 4 times.
Has he?
Yeah, he's done it. So it's a really cool place. And dude, all the scenery all the way up there is on your way to Deal's Gap is that's gorgeous. Awesome. I was saying this to some fellas yesterday. How wonderful God's creation is, even after that was the flood's destruction. And we look at nature going, dang, it's pretty. Right. Colorado's beautiful. Wyoming, beautiful. Texas, beautiful. You know what I mean? Iowa, though boring, beautiful, with the corn and everything.
Yeah. Some may disagree with me.
I'm sorry. It's true. Iowa, you believe me.
But if you think about this as the fallen world, right? This is after the curses hit the earth. So the earth is cursed. You have to assume that the beauty of the garden was even more so than
oh my gosh.
Now, some people have that theory that it was a temperate climate year round. It was very, very beautiful, right? Kind of a tropical, light tropical. I love snow. I love Arctic scenery. I love all of that. It's beautiful too.
Alaska's pretty, man.
Right.
That water and everything.
So you think about even if snow and Arctic conditions weren't part of the garden, it's still beautiful.
Which kind of, let's kind of, I'm not trying to derail here because we're talking about the green stuff, right? The green transition. But think about it. Years and years and years and years and years, right, guys, of drilling, pollution, whatever they say. Yeah. But look at all around our world is still beautiful. So it's oh my gosh, it's going to go bonkers and the world's going to go, And it's I look at pictures of places I want to go one day, like Dubai.
Right.
I just want to go see it, I want to go see Scotland, and it's still green. It's still beautiful. Alaska, still beautiful. You know what I mean? America, still gorgeous. And I haven't been to Oregon yet. I want to go. And do you know why I want to go? Because I always thought the city where Kindergarten Cop was filmed was the coolest city ever. I'm just saying, guys, I don't know why I think about these things, but that would be cool to go. California, Redding, California, beautiful. Yeah. The red oaks, or what do they call it? The red timber things, redwoods. Man, and think about it, dude. That is the Lord's beauty for ashes. That is if nature can't preach to you, you're not listening. that God gives beauty for ashes. Even after destruction, it's that beautiful. What can he do through you that's broken?
Creation testifies.
Oh, man, dude.
What were you going to say, Elijah?
Oh, no.
Is it on?
Make sure your mic
I'm just
is
saying,
on.
like, just...
It's on. Have you seen comparisons of the redwoods, like literally sitting next to cars? How they carve out redwood trees like right in the middle so that people could drive through them. It's insane.
Wow.
That's on like my top adventure list or whatever.
You ain't got not much, huh? I mean, you don't want to see Germany where World War II is fought. You don't want to see, I mean, nothing.
No, he wants to drive a car through a tree.
Through a tree.
Yeah.
Kids.
No, dude, but like, here's another one. Cape Cod. If you've never been to Cape Cod,
I love
gorgeous.
Cape Cod.
That whole northeastern side of the never eat shred of wheat. I always do it. Never eat shred of wheat.
I was taught never eat soggy waffles.
Yeah, right. So northeast, that whole northeast corner of the map is like unbelievable, dude. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, North Carolina, the Tennessee, the rolling hills of Tennessee. I don't know why I'm talking about this.
I want to
beautiful.
Interrupt for 1 second to say to our listeners, our fans, our commenters. Here's the question for you. What's one place you would love to see her go?
Yeah, comment down below where you're from and tell us what place do you want to go
for whatever reason. You know, I love traveling. I love going different places. So yeah,
But I'm not a traveler only. I have to explore. Like I want to see Alcatraz. I want to go see. You know what I mean? Like I love seeing museums, and I'm that guy that has to read every plaque. My wife is annoyed by that. So like she's like, "Huh, that's cool, a tree," and I'm like, "This is the oldest tree in America." You know, she's like, "Okay, it's a tree." You know, like and there's things she likes and she reads, but like typically I'm the guy that's like, and she's like, "It's a rock," and I'm like, "I know, but it's the first rock in the state." She's like. She's like,
it's a rock.
It's a rock, right? I'm that guy. I'm a museum guy. Are you a museum guy, girl? Tell us below.
I love museums. Elijah, you look like you have something to say, bro.
No, Alcatraz, definitely check it out.
That would be cool.
It's like the whole purpose behind it was so smart, but so evil at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, but just that's history, right? Like when I went to go like to Mount Vernon and all these other places that I went to, just to see like the slaves' quarters and like experience you know what that was like, try to put your mind there, right? When we went to St. Augustine up here, there's like a whole fort up there that you can go tour. Just put yourself in that mindset. And during the Civil War, when they reused it, I think it was a Civil War when they reused it, because it's an old fort, but like where they were cannon fired at, where they had to store the food, where they had to store people, you know what I mean? The church. It's like, Lord, what happened here? You know what I mean?
As I get older, the more I appreciate being in historical locations, because when I was younger, we toured a couple of Civil War battlefields like Gettysburg and all that, and I had interest in it because I loved the Civil War. In Michigan, if you're from Michigan or from the area, you know about Mackinac, you know, and the island with the fort on it and everything. And my wife and I went there actually for our honeymoon, and
you went to fort.
We went to Mackinac Island.
Oh, island.
Yeah, we went to a
fort.
No, but
romantic.
the fort is on the island, and
to a fort.
It's like we can tell who gets what they want in this marriage. I'm going, I want to go to the historical fort. My wife's going, please, can we just go to the beach? No. Want to study old dead white men.
And he's setting up his little soldiers, reenacting the.
I'm wearing my red coat, my tri hat. We're gonna have fun today, hon. Aren't you so excited to be married to me?
You play the damsel in distress, babe. I'm gonna save you.
I'm gonna save you from those evil Indians. Sorry, racist.
You're not evil.
Is that racist?
Well. There's a whole other story with that, because like all of us without God are evil, you know, like.
But to end the story that is dragging on way too long, I find much more appreciation in history, being in historical spots and putting myself in. What would it be like to be?
Do you think it's because as we get older, we think legacy?
I think so.
You know, because you think about, man, what am I leaving behind, right? Yeah. Look at all that history. Like one person standing up created a whole. Harriet Tubman. I just love that story, and I've tried to do my best to study it. I'm still not done studying certain things about it, but like, I love learning about people who just at the right place, right time said yes to God, and they just They did, they did things. And it wasn't that they were trying to do huge exploits. They were just doing what was on their heart, and they were passionate about it. She was one of them. And it turns into this great story where she saves over 900 slaves and set them free, and that's just those kinds of things, is that legacy yours? You know what I mean? What's going to be your end?
That's that legacy gene.
And you got to be okay with it. Like, if you just say my legacy was to make sure my kids did this and this and this, and they did better than me. Okay. If that's what the Lord told you, praise God, do it. Don't feel like you need to go, create a new nation or something like that. I'm not saying that. Maybe I do. That's probably me. I don't know. But I think that's why we start getting interested in especially being 41 now, I'm starting to really appreciate the little things, history things, future things, like this, what I got 40 years left of this. Thank you, Jesus, 40 to 50. Am I investing now for those kids, for my sons and that kind of thing?
That proverb of planting a tree that you'll never enjoy the shade of, that whole idea, there's something to it. Building that legacy that you can pass on. I'm ready to get into it. You guys ready to get into it? Let's do this, because I want to get to Conspiracy Vault. So first one, energy prices are part of the green transition, and Biden said the quiet part out loud. He happened to let it slip that your unaffordable gas prices were a result of transition to green energy. So a reporter asked if the recession is unavoidable. Biden said, when it comes to the gas prices, we're going through an incredible transition that is taking place, that God willing, when it's over, we'll be stronger. Incredible transition that is taking place. He said the world will be stronger and less reliant on fossil fuels when this is over.
There's some articles coming out now about how electric cars are going to be they're already out polluting fossil fuels.
The whole process.
Yeah. It's unique because no matter what we do, it takes things to everything we do has waste to it.
Yeah.
It just does. You know what I mean? You eat healthy, there's still waste to it. You know what I mean? When you build something, there's waste to it, right? You have 2x4s that are 10 foot long. You got to cut them in 6 foot and you can't use them anymore. What do you do with them?
Waste.
It's waste. And then you recycle or whatever, but it's still waste. And you're using a machine that's going to use energy, right, to grind it all up, to recycle everything we do. Like, I'm not saying not to use better alternatives. That's not the issue here, dude. It'd be cool to have a Tesla. I think it'd be great to have, not because of Elon Musk. We've been talking about Teslas, you and I, for years, way before Tesla was cool or Elon Musk was cool. We went to California a few years ago. We're like, man, wouldn't this be cool to own a Tesla? We had talked about it. We had actually seen one up close. It was like, man, that was really cool. So before Elon was cool, before Elon was Elon, to the conservatives, the new savior. Seriously, it is. Like, he's the new savior. All of a sudden, he says some conservative things, and they're like, yes, hitch our wagon to him. It's like, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying,
more power to him, but he's not the savior.
He's not the savior. So it's like, but back to the Tesla thing. It'd be cool to own one, dude. Those things can go 1.8 to 60, 0 to 60 in 1.8 seconds when you strip them down.
I remember there was a video of a guy racing other cars for pink slips, and they didn't understand what they were racing against, and he was using his normal Tesla.
Put it in sport mode, stripped the whole thing out, and then got it was like 0 to 60, 1.8.
People didn't understand what those electric cars
1.8 or
do.
2 seconds or something. No, 2.8, I think it was. I can't remember.
I think 2.2
point something. Yeah. Sorry, not 1.8. My bad. My mistake.
To go along your point, I was actually listening to a podcast yesterday, and the guy was talking about, as soon as we picked up a tool. Now, he was working from the evolutionary standpoint, so just go with me here. But as soon as we picked up a tool, we started a process for ourselves of creating issue, right? And we're creating issues for ourselves because using tools have consequences. Now, he was going along the line of, like, we have phones and technology and all that, and so we're becoming less connected with the world. We're losing a lot personally, but the fact remains, when you use a tool, there is a byproduct of using that tool.
Just to verify, the fastest Tesla car, it takes 15 minutes to set it up, but can go 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds.
So that would be the 1.8.
I'm just saying, I read it before. I'm not wrong.
So that idea of a tool always produces a byproduct.
It does.
And we have to understand there's going to be a negative effect with everything we do.
Dude,
everything we
solar
use.
panels. What do we do with the discarded ones? That's going to have waste. You're going to use a machine to take it out, to go discard it, whatever. It's
the materials,
it
the
all
energy,
has waste.
all of it takes to produce and then get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, like, gosh, it's not all the same. One's not going to overcome the other. It just gets better. What would be the word? You just become more efficient at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And we're all about efficiency. I mean, efficiency really is the capitalist dream.
We called Walton innovative. Some called him a shyster, right? Because he came in and took all the city. We call the Waltons innovative for creating Walmart or Target, or these big super Targets. And I remember when it was Super Target, Super Walmart. Now it's just Walmart, Target.
Yep.
Remember, that was innovation. But dude, those big innovators have a lot more waste from their buildings. What do they do with all the stuff that they can't use? Discard it. What, you know what I mean? So it may have been, we can centralize everything and put it one thing, but it didn't do anything to help the environment. Little mom and pop shops could sell things, give it away, blah, 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 back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that anymore. You can't do that because of regulations. So you say it's better to have bigger, better, whatever. Not really. Not necessarily. You know what I mean?
And the alternative is a lot less comfort, a lot less health, a lot less improvement. If we go the other way and we say, okay, well, we're going to do away with technology, we're going to do away with advancement tools, all of that. Now, all of a sudden, you're back in the woods.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that's a romantic idea. Yeah, it's romantic until you catch the flu and you don't have any technological advance, any comfort, anything. It's romantic until it's -30 and all you've got is a woodshed, a wood construction with a little bit of a fire in the middle. Like the fact
you have to kill a bear to use its skin. Now you're going against your principles. Because how are you going to cover yourself?
And people will say, well, the Native Americans did it and that's romantic. Yeah, maybe in one sense, but I don't know how long you'd last living the life that they lived. They didn't live an easy life.
Yeah.
It was a brutal life. And they made their way through and they found their connection with the earth. More power to them. But there's a lot of beauty in technological advancement.
A lot, dude. Like, you wonder how many kids that, and this is going to maybe sound a little gross, but like, how many kids were stillborn? How many kids born died?
Right.
What are those statistics? You know what I mean? The
death of early sickness.
Of early sickness and diseases and all those other things. Yeah, okay, we could say they survived, they did this, they hunted, men were men, right? True. And I think we can get to those still primal principles of being a man, right? Nothing wrong with having a boat. Ain't nothing wrong with having a nice house with lights. You know what I mean?
You know what I think about is, especially say the Native Americans or whoever, what happens if you fall out of a tree and you break your leg?
Dude, they gotta strap that thing up.
Yeah, and then it heals incorrectly, and so now you're severely limping the rest of your days. Like, life was much more permanent in those days
back then,
it is for us.
It was Civil War time. Those little hospital aid stations, right?
Yeah,
they were cutting legs off, gangrene, all this other stuff. It's like
they didn't have the medicines and surgeries and everything that we've got now. Anyway, where'd we go? But
we totally started this way off. I mean, that was me. It's my fault, but whatever.
It's fine. So, moral of the story is Biden seems to be letting it slip out that this whole gas price thing is not completely coincidental, or at least, hey, never let a good crisis go to waste. And most of us are conservative, so most of us kind of see it as like, the whole World Economic Forum thing is going on. They've said, hey, we need to collapse the system to rebuild it in our image, is basically what they've said.
Yep.
Which isn't that funny that happens to work its way through man's achievements.
Yeah.
It's got to be in my image. I immediately think of Nebuchadnezzar. Look at everything I did.
It's almost like they're mad that we didn't get like crazy, like with the whole monkeypox thing. We're not going bonkers about it. The pandemic was over in a year. People were really like, what the heck? If this was really that bad, okay. If it was really as bad as they said it was supposed to be, right? Then we all should have stayed home and died. Like, if it was bad and it was like the bubonic and no matter what, right, it's going to sweep through our homes. You staying home wouldn't have prevented. It's a virus. So like it's going to come
happen.
Through. It's going to happen.
Which we found with COVID. We had those people who like basically put themselves in a plastic bag for months, yet they still caught it. Elijah, you had something?
Vaccinations.
Yeah. Did you guys ever watch that movie Contagion?
Yes.
Gwyneth Paltrow. Literally, that movie perfectly like depicts what a world pandemic would look like. People were dropping dead in the streets left and right. Like there were very few people who were immune to the virus, and it was because of like certain things in their blood that they were born with or whatever. But it was a terrifying movie.
Yeah, that same storyline happened in 28 Days Later as well. So.
Really?
It's a zombie movie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't.
Elijah got
I'm not a heathen, and I don't watch movies. I'm holy. They're not. So
that wasn't a gotcha. It was just a joke.
Hey guys, by the way, go on to theselfevidenttruth.com, and guys, we got this really cool thing going on. Elijah, can you pull up that graphic? We have a matching grant going on, which is really cool. $15,000. People like we had some donors that said, "Hey, why don't we pull all this money together?" We have a $15,000 matching grant here, so we want you to help. Please go to theselfevidenttruth.com. And you can see on there what we're using it for. It's a lot of it for our travel is getting more and more expensive. When people give me a stipend, I've exceeded that stipend. You know, when I book tickets for you and me, just to go to California, I think you, me, and Isaiah to go to man our tables because it's a 3-day event is almost $2,500. They didn't give me that much just to go. They didn't even they didn't get. I'm already in the negative.
We're already
to go,
working from behind.
Which guys, you know us. We've never said no because of money. We don't do that. That's not us. You know, and so we want to go and be a light. And there's a lot of fruit happening at these events, and you'll see more here in the future. We're getting testimonies and stuff. Never used to do that because I was like, that's cheesy. But people do actually change at these events. They are getting ministered to. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you guys can go. And then also subscribe to our channels. We're on TikTok too. That's actually really hitting right now. Yeah. A lot of liberals are on TikTok and on Instagram. And they don't like me. They call me fat. They call me all crazy things.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
the number one.
That's the number one thing.
Like,
oh, fat. Like, thanks. Like I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
You devastated me,
dude. You're right. Oh my gosh.
Talk about saying that's the best they can come up with. Yes, that's original.
How dare they fat shame you? By the way,
Ooh. I know. I like to say I'm blessed and highly favored. You know.
You know what they say? You never want a skinny chef, right?
Gordon Ramsay eats your heart out.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
I'm ready. Let's roll it, Elijah. It's game time.
Conspiracy
Let's do
vault.
this. We're into Conspiracy Vault.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, just as a disclaimer, again, when we do these, it's a disclaimer. We're having fun. We're not exactly saying we believe this. I just think about this stuff. We talked about the moon landing last week. Why not? I question. I haven't really questioned Bigfoot. I think it's Mike at night before he shaves his chest and back.
I picture like grainy home video of me walking from the bathroom to the bedroom. Like,
I think Mike is Bigfoot.
Yeah, the arm swing.
Mike is Bigfoot. I uncovered it.
Problem solved.
Because I can't grow any hair on this body. I can't grow no mustache, no beard, nothing. He can. I think it's Mike.
It must be. Well, that's been solved. Thank you so much for tuning in to Conspiracy Vault Bigfoot. We got Bigfoot today.
Bigfoot.
So
is it real?
Is he real? If you haven't heard of Bigfoot,
you can't gender. You can't genderfy.
I'm sorry.
Sasquatch.
I'm sorry. If they, them, zir, what do I use? Pronoun advocates. Please tell me. I can't ask Bigfoot what their pronouns are.
Yeah, it.
We will use it.
Yeah.
Until I forget. So if you haven't heard, then nice. If you haven't heard of Bigfoot because you're living out in the woods for too long, getting hairy and avoiding the cameras of people who want to see you, here's Bigfoot in a nutshell. A big hairy primate that walks on two legs has an uncanny ability to avoid detection for the most part.
Oh,
you know what I love is
it's called a bear.
Those jokes that like people won't get, and maybe you'll hit them about 5 seconds later. You know,
oh, yeah.
So this myth, legend, factual scientific proof doesn't get its origins from the 1950s or even the 1800s. This dates back hundreds, some say more than 1,000, according to cave art, of years to Native American legends.
Which could be. I mean, think about it, right? They were hunting things.
Yeah,
Bears,
they're out in the
moose, buffalo, right? They were hunting things.
Yeah.
Who knows what they saw out there, right? And they're only going by their understanding of things, just like us. We don't really understand everything. So when we see something new, we're like, what was that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were going by their understanding.
Especially if something's shadowed or fuzzy.
Sure.
Or in a distance.
And they had their grain cameras, those American Indians, they had the little fuzzy video.
I picture the big VHS recorder.
Yeah, you remember those Sonys with the battery pack
Yep.
and the light?
So most of us have heard that name Sasquatch. This may have actually been a mispronunciation considering its similarity to the Salish word Seskewits. Seskewits.
Seskewts.
If you speak Salish, go ahead and correct us, because all of two people do. The name varies, but points to the same legend. Native American legends claim of a hairy wild men that were huge in stature, and many said were supernatural. Legend often stated Bigfoot could move into the spiritual realm.
Bigfoot could.
Hence why he just disappears and appears and disappears. Problem solved. You had different names for it all around the U.S. and Canada. Some describe Bigfoot's big feet. How do you pluralize Bigfoot?
Big fight.
Big fight. Okay, so some describe Big Fight as man-eaters and killers. Would that be right, Elijah?
It would
Big
be
fight?
right. In
Big feats?
Hey, if America can make up its own words and start saying trans whatevers, we can do that too.
We can make plurals.
We're preachers. We can make up our own words. We're all right.
Yes. We'll introduce it into the Christian lexicon. And so it'll become Christianese and it'll become normal.
No, just like Salish.
Exactly. So some describe them more like an ogre, said to kill humans and have an overpowering smell, which now that overpowering smell idea seems to be consistent across cultures. I think that's a point in the Bigfoot category. There's a consistency across these cultures.
I got into an accident in a Prius. I was driving someone's Prius. I hit a hog.
Yeah.
Like one of those here. Remember that in Fort Pierce?
That's called doing God's work right there.
Buddy,
yes, it is. Two with one stone.
I got out
a Prius and hitting the hog.
Well, needless to say, the Prius didn't survive that one pretty well,
No.
right? But this thing couldn't have been 100 pounds, The smell from that thing.
I believe it.
It was it was so disgusting, right? Because I was afraid to get out. At first I was like, geez, I wasn't afraid of the thing. I was afraid of, man, I hit my buddy's car. What, I got to pay that now, all that stuff. Right. So I was like, I got out and I didn't see it. It was gone. That thing it just took off.
I didn't even realize that it survived.
Yeah. So you think
at least
it's out in the woods on its own, probably muck and mire. I'm not saying Bigfoot's real. I'm saying the animal. You're going to smell. You're going to be disgusting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, who knows? Maybe Bigfoot is real. So all continents besides Antarctica have a Bigfoot story. Antarctica doesn't, because those penguins don't buy into conspiracy theories and they ignore the Nazi.
They don't trust the science.
Alien Illuminati base at the center of Antarctica.
Penguins don't trust the science, guys.
No. Penguins are skeptical.
What do they know? They can't fly.
You Republicans are penguins.
Connections. So what does that make Democrats?
Sasquatches.
Big hairy Z's or Zers.
Woo! Oh. Well, they don't. A lot of women are coming out saying we're not shaving our pits anymore and our legs.
And they're trying to get beards because they want to be men. Science?
Just say it. They're trusting the science.
So the popularity explodes. Don't worry, we're getting to the facts, people, but we got to tell you the history because you got to know about your conspiracy theories. If you want to believe in this, you got to know the history. You got to understand the origins.
This is crazy.
In the late 1950s, large, strange tracks were discovered in Six Rivers National Forest by a bulldozer operator, Jerry Crew. I want you to know some of the most trustworthy, level people on the face of this world have been construction workers. His coworkers started calling the tracks as being left by Bigfoot. After that, people started connecting the dots to the American Indian myth. Now, one of his co-workers who died in 2002 claimed it was all a hoax. I think he just wanted credit for the whole thing. The man's family, knowing he was a practical jokester, said he made the prints with huge feet carved out of wood. Then came the famous film in 1967, the Patterson-Gimlin film. Everybody shows that film, including us. Let's watch this.
Let's narrate through.
All right, let's run it one more time because I know
that was.
But there's something there. I think it's Bigfoot. What do you think, Miss?
I look like a dude that needed a shower.
It's a camper.
I'm not playing. Yeah, he looked like a dude that needed a shower. It's about as good a quality. That was Bob.
That was Bob.
Oh my gosh.
Bob
took the video. Bob was on his crew. He came back from the moon landing and filmed Bigfoot. Old Bobby was there. Bob, you never gets the credit.
Never gets the credit, man. Bob films the moon landing. He films Bigfoot. Everybody forgets Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Oh, man, I want you guys to support Bob. You can support that by sending checks to Mike. Let's support the Bob cause.
Oh, man.
So there are a couple of fairly established people who actually do believe in Bigfoot. Now, to be honest, I went into this fairly skeptical. I came out a little bit more on the line of, hey, maybe there is a Bigfoot. So Dr. Jeffrey Muldrum, an associate professor of anatomy and anthropology from Idaho State University, is one of the guys. He's popular for that news reporter trying to finish their deadline 2 hours before print. So they just put together an article about Bigfoot. He's the guy they call. NPR, well, I continue.
Trust them. They're funded by the government.
Yeah, they're perfect. They actually broke the truth about Bigfoot wide open several times. We got the face, Elijah. It broke him. I will make the compilation, I promise. So Meldrum said, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and so I was aware of some of the mythology and folklore that surrounded the reports and stories. But so many years had gone by, I have to say, when I was confronted with the subject as an academic, I was quite skeptical and was looking for the proverbial fursuit or wooden foot. But when I was taken out and shown some fresh footprints in southeastern Washington, I was, quite literally set back on my heels because there were tracks that would be difficult to explain as a simple contrivance with wooden feet strapped to one's boots. Even Jane Goodall, yes, that Jane Goodall, the one who became a primate for how many years, said on NPR that she is sure they exist. So Meldrum's expertise on the topic seems to rest on the footprints he's studied. When discussing it, he said it's by far the most ubiquitous, somewhat concrete evidence, setting the anecdotes aside for a moment. It's something that we can replicate, we can put calipers on, we can investigate from a functional morphological aspect to see what might explain the various features that are within those footprints. Mm-hmm. See, that's where my academic career has been built
funny.
on the study of the way primates move.
I'm sitting here thinking about this, right? Because I had the idea of, let's do some conspiracies. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what our supporters are thinking. I'm giving you money to talk about this crap.
All of a sudden, we watch the monthly donations just tick down as the podcast goes further.
Like I said, we hit some real issues, and we're gonna keep hitting real issues. This is just a fun thing. We're just having some fun, and if you can't have fun, and I hope you guys are hearing me here, like if you can't have fun, where's the joy in your life? You know what I mean? Like we all laugh, we all cut up, we have these things, but we're not blaspheming the name of the Lord here. We're having some fun. So I hope you guys are seeing this and finding some humor in it, because we're finding a lot of humor in this actually. But the second thing is, in the monotony of life, with everything going on, which we find it ironic, the WHO thing is going on, right? Then monkeypox is going on. Then a school shooting, right? It's all to keep you distracted because there's always something going on. I'm not saying the government contrived the school shooting. I'm saying there's always some kind of a thing going on where they highlight. And each one of those things that are happening are talking about stripping away your rights.
Right.
So in the midst of all that, when we're talking about all this, we could do that. And there's tons of other podcasts that do. And we do the same thing.
Do it
we do
times a week.
And we're giving you the scriptural basis for it all. But you know what, dude? Sometimes I need to laugh, man, because
you want to escape.
Yeah, it's the peace of God, right? That passes all understanding. It's the joy of the Lord that's my strength. I love laughing, man. And you need to. It keeps your sanity. What the Bible says in Proverbs, a good word from afar is like cold water to a thirsty soul. Sometimes I just need a fun time, and we want to bring that to you guys, and hopefully you guys laugh a little bit in the midst of everything going on. God is still in control. I'm sorry, I got to break this up I just want to minister for a minute. God's in control, and he knows what he's doing. And some of the people out there will ask you, if God is real, why is he allowing this to happen? And I find it funny. Would you blame the parents of a child who messes up for their sin? No. God gave us rules and laws. He gave us the 10 commandments. He gave us scripture that we decided to disobey. And because man decides to disobey, they commit the sin. That has nothing to do with God. He says, if you obey me and keep my commandments, I will bless you. Read Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26. He will bless our coming in and going out. If we don't, read the latter half of Deuteronomy 28, Leviticus 26. Then destruction comes, right? Death, destruction, pestilences. Guys, this is happening because of our disobedience. Man's disobedience, I should say. Thank God for his remnant. Thank God for that. But I just hope that you guys are having fun through all this.
Yes.
And I just want to make that point before we continue, because I know people, this is what I'm doing. No, we're taking it just as serious as anybody.
Yeah.
Right? But dude, last night we were cutting up, having fun. I like doing those.
Life
yeah, man. You know, in the midst of all the chaos, I still have peace in my heart. I don't care what the devil does. I don't care what they throw at us. God is greater than all this. Look at history. Either God is still God or he's not. And we sit here and focus on all the problems, you know, and the end times is here. You know, someone commented on the church's Google review. This church is not the right church. We should mark this church because they don't believe in pre-trib rapture, and the rapture's and the rapture's coming in 2021. How's that working out for you? It's on a Google review. It's on a Google review.
Oh, I hope we've left it up.
We did. We can't delete it.
Good.
But it's just like that. That's the kind of stuff. If you're focused on all of that, all you're gonna see is misery and destruction. I'm still looking at the creation of God going, Lord, I got 40 years promised to me. If you come back, that's cool. But dude, I still want to go see the redwoods.
Right.
I still want to go enjoy life. I want to raise my boys. I want to have some fun.
I want to see Bigfoot.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And we want to go save souls in the process because that's what we're called to. So have some fun. Let it loose. Kick your shirt up. You know, like that kind of thing.
Oh, careful.
Hey, easy.
I don't want the R rating.
Yeah, easy. Here, take the video down because I showed my tummy. You know what I'm saying? Just have some fun. Relax.
Right.
Just enjoy.
Exactly.
Converse with us.
Enjoy with
Share the
us.
video.
Yes. Have fun with us.
Consider supporting us because we love it when you support.
We want to make you laugh.
We do.
While we help you think as well.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to conspiracy theories.
Yes.
This is fun.
Because there are some that aren't conspiracies. There are some, and we'll get into those, I'm sure. And I don't believe John F. Kennedy died from a lone shooter. I never have. I've been to Dallas, Texas. I've seen these things. I've studied videos, and you know, people will say this and this and this, and it's like, look, just go with your spirit for a minute and look at it. You're just like, why did he get taken out? Why him? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There was past presidents that should have been taken out for their stance. I think, why him? Right? What was going on? So I believe it, but I've never talked about it. You know, why not?
Yeah. And we'll make jokes and hopefully make you laugh and make you think. You know, that's the whole thing with this conspiracy vault thing.
Just
it's like
fun.
Give you laughter and help you think about the topic in a new way.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
So let's get back.
We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, let's get back to Bob and his Bigfoot scam. So let's get into the arguments. It's bear tracks. Thoughts?
Yeah.
Let's show a picture of the Bigfoot print before you say anything, Elijah. That's right. I'm cutting you off. Bear track.
Yeah.
What do you think, Elijah? Everybody look at that. Give us your thoughts.
Certified bear.
certified bear.
Truth.
You know what?
You know what that looks like?
That's where Smokey's been all these years.
Oh, good point.
That is not dude. That's a wooden post they dug out of the ground. That ain't no bear track. Look how deep that thing is.
I think the lineman nicknamed the Fridge was walking through the forest. So experts have said that there are probably plenty of sightings that can be attributable to bears. However, bear tracks are about the size of a human hand or somewhat bigger. However, the tracks in question, such as that picture and other ones, are extremely large and from an upright bipedal creature, probably similar to a size 20 shoe. So I've decided that it must be Shaq. Sasquatch Shaq.
Shaq would actually probably have fun with that.
He would, dude.
He's a fun guy.
I would love to see him.
He's not a mushroom. He's a fun fella. Dad jokes, but right. He's a fun dude. Like if you just like look at him, he's fun.
I would love to hang out with Shaq.
Yeah, he'd be fun.
So I'm sure he won't get offended by that joke. So
he'd probably have fun with it.
Sasquatch, Shaq, they're very similar. I think it's Shaq.
Shaq.
We solved it. So all the film is faked and photoshopped. You saw our video. You saw the video. Let's put it up one more time. 1967.
And dude, they caught it in 67. We haven't been able to catch one since.
I mean, there's other sightings, all kinds of videos and sightings, but a lot of them are blurry.
They're all blurry. They're always blurry.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know.
What do you guys think? Guy in big fluffy suit?
Okay, so I actually have somewhat of a reasonable standpoint on this. I don't believe Bigfoot's real, but we haven't explored 80% of our oceans. That leaves potentially 80% of the creatures in our oceans that we haven't even fathomed yet. So who's to say we haven't discovered 10% of what we know on land? There might be some kind of island or something. Well, obviously, like this takes place in some kind of state or whatever, but
no, I'm with you. You're actually bringing a really good point. I think that there are tribes that have just been discovered, pretty recently.
True.
So we haven't seen, I was texting a friend back and forth, and he was telling me about some nutrition stuff for Carrie and some other things. And he said there's this doctor who's traveled all over the world, and he noticed some tribes who had perfect teeth, no joint aches, pains, and they're all old. Perfect teeth, no cavities, nothing. Tribes.
You are about to answer a question that I've been debating, so let's go with this, please.
Yeah. So, and he said these are some of the things that they did. This is how they eat. This is how they, and it's like bone broths but natural organic stuff. You know what I mean? And he sent me a picture. I wish I could have sent it to him. I didn't know I was going to go on this tangent. But this kid smiling, dude, perfect white teeth, perfect, not crooked, nothing. You know what I mean? And you begin to wonder if those tribes can be like that. What have we done to ourselves as Americans to have this or England? I'm not making fun of you, right? But their teeth are messed up, right? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And not everybody. There's just a lot of people that have it, right?
There's a Simpsons joke about that.
I know, and I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm really not, because it's a thing. Overweight. Being overweight. Was I messed up from birth? Because I've always been a big kid. I was born at almost 10 pounds.
Whew.
Yeah, and I was only 19 inches. I was a bowling ball, y'all. Like seriously, I was a little. My mom pooped out a loaf of bread. Just pooped. I don't know. Sorry, but but these tribes that he said that the doctor observed, they had no inflammation of the joints. They had nothing, and they were just like
that. I've heard reports of tribes that have like 0% rates of cancer and that kind of thing.
Yes, because of the apricot seeds that they eat. Like they pop them in. They have the B17, I think, in the apricot seeds, and they pop them in. Like that's all documented stuff. Like what aren't we getting in our diets, right? To make us healthy, and we choose pizza rolls because it's quick and it's good. I'm not saying it's not good. What's true? But it's my wife just looked at me because my kids had pizza rolls last night. But it's
Called
true.
out.
They're good.
They are. That's the problem.
My buddy just wrote on his his Facebook. He said Taco Bell's the only place you can still get gas at $1.49. But it's good.
I've told people Taco Bell rips me up for the next 4 or 5 hours, but man, I'll abuse myself once in a while.
Oh,
it's too good not to abuse
but
yourself.
you know that's not food.
No,
that's not food.
It's taste.
Yes,
it is. I was talking to one of my friends. It is the same 6 ingredients, just ordered differently.
That's right.
Yes. How can we
Absolutely.
recombine these 6 ingredients into a new combination? To go along that, Isaac asked me the other night. He's like, Dad, do animals brush their teeth? I was just like, well, no. But then I started thinking, just like, wait a second. They don't have to brush their teeth. Not some of them bad breath, but they're not losing teeth.
They actually have little chewables now that clean their teeth, right?
Right.
But why are dogs and cats dying of cancer?
And we end up brushing our dog's teeth. That's not a natural process.
No.
And I was thinking about it, I was like, human beings didn't brush their teeth until very recently. But now all of a sudden brushing teeth is so necessary, so important. It's like, well, God wouldn't have created us for our teeth to fall out of our head in 40 years and go the next 40 without teeth, right?
Yeah. And that's a great point. Now let's be honest here. Washington's teeth were not the best, so something was happening that he had to see. But you don't see any other founding father that has that issue. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe they weren't recorded. But back then it wasn't a common thing, to have that.
And why do these tribes have great teeth, great health, great all of that? Because they're the closest to natural that we could argue exists.
Exactly.
Elijah?
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, what would have life been like in the garden?
Yeah.
Like, God didn't design, like you said, God didn't design our teeth to last 40 years and then disappear without
Fall
a
out
trace.
of our head. Yeah.
Right. We're not supposed to be like gummy old people or whatever. It's
I know what you're saying. I think I'm gonna go on your line, right?
Go for it.
Of all the sicknesses and diseases that the Bible talks about, people being healed, broken bones, sight coming back, all these other things. Obviously, it's not. I don't think there's gonna be a scripture in there about teeth, right? I'm not saying that, but they dined with each other. They were with each other. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Bible talks a lot about food. A lot of they like to eat.
Food's enjoyable. But
you wonder from before to now, right? Even in the 1700s, 1600s. Was it them? Okay, because this is going to flirt the line of metaphysics, and I don't like that crap. I believe in faith, and I don't care if you like that or not. I believe that my body is to come into alignment with the Spirit of God. Right. So I was walking with my wife and my kids a couple nights ago. We try to go on a walk 2-3 times a week if we can. My back was killing me, my side. I'm literally standing there saying, "No, body, come into alignment with the Spirit of God." I'm healed already. I know. Went away. You can call me crazy. I don't care what you think. And it's not a belief system. It doesn't hurt. My back didn't hurt after that. It doesn't hurt. No. I believe I got healed. Lord, you promised me healing, right? But were we supposed to be healed for those kinds of, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just
thinking out loud.
Yes.
The headache, the aches, the pains, like that whole, that gets into a whole nother conversation, but it's something to think about. Like,
I think we should even talk about it. You know, like the health corner of the podcast. Yeah. Like, and I'm not a picture of health. I'm not saying, and I'm not making fun of myself. I'm trying to get there. You're getting there, right? Yeah. You're going back to working out. We're working out here soon together because this guy's a machine. Can you tell them what you said about your body? Like when you were, I'm getting older.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah. So what happened? I was telling Massey the other day,
because Bigfoot's dead.
Bigfoot was alive. He's dead. Bob killed him. Bob put a gun to his head because he was about to blow open the moon landing scandal.
And Bob couldn't get a good video of him. So.
Yeah. So we solved that controversy. Let's get into my final thoughts because that's what's important.
That's what's important here.
That's why we do.
You want to
podcast.
See us, not Bigfoot.
Yes. I can't wait to dress up like Bigfoot.
Now. Right. We just need our tin hats. I'm telling you.
Yeah, let's get them. So when I was talking to Massey the other day, I was telling him this revelation that I kind of had. So when there was a process of him and I working out, getting back into it, and my life has centered around working out some way, shape, or form. And this last time, what I recognized looking back was how restrictive my mindset was on everything. My mindset was, I'm 35 now. I'm getting
take
older.
it easy.
Got to be careful. Aches and pains.
Take
and
her
I would
easy.
feel the aches and pains. I would feel tired.
Yep.
So, oh, this working out, it must be making me more tired. You know, I got to get more sleep. And I just turning into Biden. And I'm not trying to make fun of Biden, but just,
No, you're not. Just took a shot at him, but no.
Yeah.
Just,
you know, come on. We all know the guy's falling apart.
He can't even put a sentence.
No,
together. Go ahead.
But I felt like I was falling apart while I was trying to improve myself. I was telling Massey, I was listening to a couple of personalities or quote unquote influencers. And one of the things that hit me, it was one of the guys was David Goggins. Call him what you will. The guy's insane, but the guy is hardcore and the guy has done a lot. He has a whole world record for pull-ups. He did 4,000 something in 17 hours. I want you, most of us can't do one. I want you to think about doing over 4,000 pull-ups in 17 hours. Something in his mind told him he had to try it 3 times. I was listening to it the other day. He had to try it 3 times. First 2 times he failed. He went back for a third, which shows you the mindset, right? And the guy's older than me. I think he's, probably 36, 38, something like that. It's like, this guy's in peak physical condition. And he just continues to push him. Now, the naysayer will say, his body's breaking down. Boy, he doesn't seem like he's caring about that. He seems like he's doing pretty well. And what hit me was a revelation of, why am I trying to wind down? I should be gearing up. I should be pushing forward. My mindset shouldn't be restriction. My mindset should be expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I not going after
That's good, dude.
and pursuing? I mean, even if I'm 60, why am I not pursuing and expanding? Because you're either living or dying, right? And so I realized I had set myself into a piss poor mindset.
Sure. And I would hope so you guys are going to walk with me through this journey. I want to be held accountable, and I won't post it on Facebook or nothing, but I pray that if you guys are watching the podcast, hold me accountable. How you eating this week? How you doing, Mass? Like, have you lost any weight yet? You look great. Or, hey, you're looking sluggish, hold me accountable to it, because I'm 41 and I want to get healthy, and I feel like I'm really good. Like I feel fine. Yeah. Right. But you can only carry this much for so long and you're kind of hitting it, And so, him and I were working out for a while, and then the holidays hit and we were like, bleh. So we stopped in December, but for 4 or 5 months, you saw like, man, my shoulders were getting bigger. I was getting skinnier. Yeah. And all of a sudden now it's like, first, I was a stud muffin. Now I'm just a muffin.
Let's put the stud back in that stud muffin. But it's mindset is so important, because I don't think either of us were approaching it with the right mindset last time, right? I don't think we were. Our mindsets were, I gotta maintain.
Yeah, we can only do a half hour. Yeah. We can only do this. We can only do that. We should have been pushing ourselves.
Yeah, and so I've been kind of hoovering up a lot of different stuff.
My son's coming with me, my 13-year-old. He's already asking, Dad, I want to go work out. My boy he's a big kid. He's already a little bit taller. He's got
a lot of potential.
Yeah. And he's just got a strong, stocky body. So it's like, okay, let's teach him godly health principles and like how to walk that out.
And show him a lifetime of achieving potential.
A lifestyle, yes.
Yeah. And I think if you're questioning me, or you're like, oh, you guys be careful, you're going to break your body down and all that. You go through stages and phases of what you're doing, but there are plenty of videos online of these guys who are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, super fit, doing well. It's like they're doing something right. They haven't bought into the American lifestyle of, well, by 40, I'm a couch potato. By 65, I retire. By 75, I die. Yeah. And nothing scares me more than retirement and dying 3 months later. I refuse. I want to be active and moving forward the rest of my life. And I was running around the yard with Isaac yesterday, playing football with him. And it was like, okay, every guy talks about, I want to be in shape to where I can run around the yard with my kids. It's like, I'm doing it. So I want to keep pursuing it.
Yeah. So guys, again, Go to theselfevidenttruth.com. This was a fun podcast. I like these podcasts, but we love you. So again, that matching grant's happening. Pray about it. Ask the Lord. If you want to help us, that's great. We're not telling you you're going to be like, we're not prosperity preachers. That's not what we do here. We say, hey, we need your help and we could use your help. And if you want to help, that'd be great. And if you don't want to help, that would be great too, because we love you. We don't care. We just want to throw it out there. Please help us. We're bearing fruit. We're seeing God move, right? We're seeing kids being transformed. So parents too. Just had a couple come in from California. I met them in 2018. They came to the church because they have a house here, a property here in Fort Pierce. And dude, they're from 2018. They remember how we ministered and what we did. So God's moving. God's changing. He's still on the throne. And we're not ashamed of that. We're not afraid of that. And this Friday, Joe Zupitz is going to be with me. If you guys go to zministries.com, josephz.com, this dude, I'm telling you, he can pump life into a mechanical machine. He's just full of life, full of scripture, full of the Spirit. And we're going to be talking about some different things, but I love him. He's been a friend of mine for years. So
I'm bummed I won't be there, but I'll be watching.
Yeah,
sure.
and it sucks that you're not going to be here because it would have been cool. I forgot that you were going to go be a heathen. So guys, we love you. TheSelfEvidentTruth.com, and God bless you. We will see you Friday.
All right, love you guys. Okay, Elijah, do you remember how to set it up?
We gotta go.